I'm Dr. Sims, America's #1 personal development expert. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me get the link to the show and send to Mama, cause Mama wanna chime in and listen to Sister Danny Cook this morning. It's just good for us to be here, y'all. I don't know about y'all. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Time is going by so fast, y'all. I hope y'all are doing what you got to do what you got to do, cause time is flying, y'all. Time is not waiting on anybody. So get those notebooks out, cause we're talking about something good this morning. So get your notebook out. We're gonna be dropping nuggets all over the place today. So y'all get y'all notebooks out so we can really enjoy the conversation today I got with Miss Danny. We flew her in from Atlanta. She's in the green room, all mic'd up and ready to go. And I love having this platform so we can talk and meet wonderful people. I met her on Periscope, and I miss Periscope, so that's why I do TikTok now, because Periscope was awesome. So you guys hold tight, and we're gonna get started here in a moment. Two, one.
We love you, Dr. Sims.
Pandemic broke a tragic record. According to the CDC, 93,000 people died from a drug overdose in the year 2020. That's a 30% increase over 2019. People ages 35 to 44 accounted for the highest number of deaths. And yes, experts say the lockdowns and isolations only exacerbated the growing problem of opioid addiction in this country. The states with the largest percentage increase in overdoses between 2019 and 2020 include Vermont, Kentucky, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Louisiana. The culprit? Fentanyl. It was the cause of 60% of 2020's ODs, but both cocaine and meth also played a role. Now, there's no evidence that more Americans started using drugs last year. The increase in deaths most likely were people who had already been struggling with addiction. Now, this data is provisional as states continue to report their tallies to the CDC. ODs take longer to report because of the lengthy investigation that is usually required to make that determination. But unfortunately, these numbers may only get worse. So if you are struggling with substance abuse or addiction, there are so many resources to help. You can start with findtreatment.gov and search by your zip code, or you can speak to someone on the phone at the National Helpline. That number is 1-800-662-HELP.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. Sims, the host of the Dr. Sims Daily Show. Good morning, Mama. Good morning, Miss Vanessa. Good morning, Shalonda. Good morning, Whitney. Good morning, everybody. See, if I say everybody, I won't miss anybody. We're just excited, back by popular demand. Everybody was like, when you gonna have her back on the show? So you know what? I made a call. I checked with the grandbabies, and they said it was all right to have their Nana on the show again this morning. So without any further ado, I'm gonna bring her on. She is amazing. Just a wonderful sister. Good morning, Miss Danny. How you doing, young lady?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
Listen, what did I tell you? The only way I could be better if I was Kitchens. It's good to see you.
It is good to see you as well. Good to see you. It's been a minute.
You were here July the 6th. It's July the 27th. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Time flies, doesn't it?
It does. It is, and it's not. You're right. It's not slowing down.
No, hello. I had to do a homegoing, a celebration of life for one of my members about 3-4 weeks ago. And one of the things I shared in the message, in the words of comfort, I said, regardless of your belief system, one thing we all can agree on: time does not stand still. I watched an old movie the other night, Hot Tub Time Machine, and these guys, it was 2010, and they went back to 1986, and it really made that resonate with me. Time doesn't stand still. But so how do you remain so? You are just such a beautiful young lady, and I was looking through your Instagram yesterday, and you're so beautiful. How do you maintain such a glow in your life?
Yeah, I don't always.
Well, we're talking about the times that you do.
I think for me, a lot of it definitely has to do with my faith and my belief systems, my relationship with myself.
Amen.
My grands, people are always like, gosh, you have your grands a lot, but children are good for you.
That's
and
good. That's
and
good.
they are helpful in that way. So I think it's a combination of those things. You know, I'm a big believer in how you take care of yourself and your body and all of those different types of things. We were talking about that earlier.
That's right.
So yeah, so just a combination of those things. But
That
you know,
is
I'm
awesome.
human like everybody. I had an Oreo yesterday.
Girl, you better hush. I had some of those peanut nutty buddies. I was playing Madden and talking to my buddies last night and ate a whole lot of stuff. First, before we get into the conversation, Teresa says good morning. Love Kit Kat says good morning. Miss Vanessa said good morning. When I told Miss Vanessa you were going to be on 3 weeks ago, she said, you're Danny from Periscope that used to work out all the time. So you have a following, young lady.
Well, and I appreciate that. You know, last night I relaunched this week is a big week for me because I relaunched my Facebook Lives and YouTube broadcasts.
Awesome.
I'm not doing them every day like I used to. That was taxing. So again, I had to take a look at what was I committed to and was it serving me? Was it for my highest good? And so I dialed it back.
Good.
And so now I'm going to be live on Facebook and YouTube on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m.
Okay.
And then my weekly podcast will be launched every Wednesday now again.
That's
so
good.
Getting back onto the things that I was doing, but
that's awesome.
I needed a wellness break.
That is good. You know, a great segue. It's almost like you and I kind of had a meeting before we got here because that's a great segue. The introductory video that I showed, 93,000 people died from a drug overdose. And no, we're not saying that for any judgment or anything, but just to talk about what we're talking about today. 93,000 people died of a drug overdose, and it's mostly tied to what we went through last year. It was a very hard year last year. Mm-hmm. So kind of talk to us about how does Danny cope with life in general? You know, life is a challenge. And I said to my congregation a few weeks ago, life is hell, you know, and if you're not equipped to deal with it, life can get the best of you, you know. So how does somebody like a Danny, because you know, from just the outside looking at you, you look like you all put together very well, you know? And a lot of people say, well, oh man, y'all don't have no problem. Y'all got it going on. So help the audience this morning. How does Danny do it?
So I think this idea, and social media is a really good tool and also can be really deceiving. Now, I'm somebody who is okay being transparent with issues and things that I go through, like you and I talked about last time, you know, when I had my breakdown/breakthrough in 2012.
Right.
But for me, so when we talk about the 93,000 people that OD'd last year, which seemed to be exacerbated by the pandemic, I have always been talk about things that aren't necessarily great but do serve you. So in my younger days, I was a bit of a control freak, right?
Wow. Okay.
So what that kept me from doing was really doing the whole drug thing. My fear was putting a substance in my body that would make me do some ish that I couldn't control.
Right. And you look back and like, was that me? You know?
So and that is one of the reasons why I don't hardly drink anymore, is just because it was something that I just didn't like. But everybody, so whether you are addicted to fentanyl, meth, whatever,
right,
or TV, or Oreos, or PlayStation, or working out, people need to understand that addictions show up, and they're not always what we would consider to be negative addictions, but they still can be. You can see people that are in the gym.
That's a good point.
You can see people that are working out that seem to be all about their health and fitness. But it can also be their coping mechanism that keeps them from dealing with their own emotional things. So, you know, coping for me is a balance. So for me, I believe, so this is my belief system. I believe that God dwells within me.
That's right.
Okay. And because I believe that, I know that if I am out of sync, it is not because God has left me. God can't leave. He can't go anywhere if you're in me, right?
Right.
It means that
that's good.
Somewhere within me, I've become disconnected, you know? And so for me, coping comes out sometimes in art. It comes out sometimes in writing. It comes out sometimes in working out.
Okay.
Sometimes it comes up in binging. And there's nothing wrong. Well, and when I say binging, I mean like I might watch a whole limited series on Netflix, right?
Right.
I think the biggest thing about how we cope is understanding that give yourself some grace and be mindful of when it goes on a little too long.
That's
right.
Good. Okay, unpack that a little bit. So how do you know? And I know this is obvious, and our audience, somebody in the audience needs to hear you say this. Unpack for us. How do you know when Danny is out of balance?
Oh gosh. So it shows up for me in a couple of different ways. Believe it or not, one of the ways that God gets my attention is I'll have more aches and pains than normal. So most everybody who follows me knows that I'm a disabled veteran, right? So I have a fair amount of discomfort on a regular basis.
Okay.
But when that kicks up a notch and I can't get any relief, so people, there's an amazing book by some physicians. I'm looking around because I know I have it, but it's called The Body Keeps the Score. It talks about how trauma is stored in the body. And it's not just physical trauma, it's emotional trauma, it's mental trauma, and it's stored in the body. So a lot of times when we have physical illnesses, that disease, you hear people say dis-ease, it's that something is off with your emotional, spiritual well-being, right? So if my pain levels go up and I haven't done anything, like it's not because of an extra workout, it's not because of something new.
Understand.
That is an indicator to me that hey, I might need to get back in alignment a little bit, right?
That's good.
Sometimes, have you ever had that feeling where you just don't feel like something's right?
Right.
It can be this fear. We have this fear of overjoy sometimes, right? Or whatever happens, but it's where you just feel yucky for no reason.
For no reason.
Why
That's good. That's good.
Why do I feel like this? And I equated to, remember the old cartoons? I'm going to date myself right now, but remember the old cartoons where the little black sludge would come creeping up on you, right? When I feel that way,
good.
I am out of alignment. And those are all indicators for me. And when I'm in the basement more than I am in the balcony in the way that I look at things.
That's good. That's good. And you know, I'm by vocation, I'm an electrical engineer. And so one of the things we used to say all the time, trust the indication. And what you just said about the body, the body does not lie. So let's go here then. That being said, if we believe that, why do we ignore our body? Why do we ignore the signs so many times? Talk to us.
Well, because if you ignore it, you don't have to deal with it. You can pretend like you don't have to do your stuff. You don't got to do your work.
Oh, say that again for the people in the back. Say it again. Say it again.
Yeah, if you ignore it, you don't have to do the work that's required. You don't have to ask the tough questions. It's the same reason we ignore the red flags in the people that we're dating, the people that we're in a relationship with, right? We get those indicators that this is not the right thing, right? But if you address that red flag, then you have to ask yourself, why are you choosing this person? Why are you choosing this relationship? What is it in you, right, that has drawn this thing to you, and does it serve you?
Oh, that's good.
And then you got to ask. See, but what we'd rather do is ignore the red flag and make it seem like it's a character flaw in that person, and then it's all about their ish and not ours.
Girl, you know you're preaching right now, right? You preaching right now. You're preaching right now.
Because I've lived it. I know what it is to do those things. I know what it is to be with people and in situations where you only got no business being where you are.
No business.
And until you get to the place, like, this is what I had to ask myself. Why am I choosing these type of people to love? And why am I choosing to love this way? That's
good. So why aren't people beating down our door? Because this is one of the things we do, and I love the way you said it. You and I were on a phone call a couple of years ago, and you said, Dr. Sims, as a life coach, we share people's lives with them and we walk alongside of them. That has not left me. I love that. So why aren't more people beating down the self-helpers doors? If we know the help, we got the lifeline. Not that we're perfect, and like you said, we're not perfect, but we got the lifeline. Our boat, we got the boat that's afloat, and we're here with lifelines in our hand. Life jackets in our hand, but people choose to drown. Help us out.
Well, I mean, again, it's about accountability. Most of us do not want to address the things. So if you notice back behind me, I have some words on this wall. So I'm making what I call a wall of words.
Okay.
Quotes of things that truly inspire me, that really remind me, that push me. And one of my friends, who's also a coach, Naveed Body, we were on a call one day and we were talking, and he said, you always win the game you're playing. But most people do not want to admit the game they're playing. So if your game is I'm the one who always rescues the family, if your game is I give too much, if your game is I love hard, if your game is you're gonna keep winning that game. You are gonna win that game all day.
I love it.
And who quits when they're winning?
That's mic drop. That's good.
And the thing is, what we don't understand is we do these things, even things that seem to not be good, or because I'll ask people, this is one of the questions that I ask clients. I'll say, so what are you getting out of it?
That's good. Right? That's good.
And they'll say, what do you mean? I'm not getting anything. And there's nothing for my benefit in this because so-and-so is using me and not giving. Wait. Here's what I know about human beings. Here's what I know about us.
Come on.
Where it is not benefiting you, you will leave it.
That's
so you
good.
are getting something out of it.
Whether it's positive or negative.
What is that thing that you're getting? Whether it's protecting you from having to address your own stuff, whether it is a distraction, whether it makes you look good.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're the martyr for everybody else, right?
Yeah. That's right.
You got to ask yourself, what are you getting out of the choices? And so people are playing games and they're winning those games and they're living and attached to those stories. And it has become a way that defines them.
That's good.
So who wants to get rid of that when you can just go on TikTok and see everybody else doing the same thing?
So therefore, since today, I call Tuesdays Intentional Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that you couched it and you put it right at the net so we can dunk it. We're winning, and like Teresa just said, we want to win. So if I'm winning and telling myself this story and the way that Kevin Samuel says it, I want to be right. I got to be right. And if I'm gonna be right, I'm not gonna not do this because it makes me right. Girl,
right.
You all right with us, Danny? You all right? So what's your Facebook, YouTube lives about on Mondays and Thursdays, and what's your podcast about?
So people ask me what's on your heart, and you asked me that, and I was like, oh, that's a loaded question because there are so many things that matter to me.
That's good.
And so everybody knows that I'm a healthcare advocate, and I led a peaceful protest in rural Tennessee about a medical monopoly. Healthcare is very important to me.
That's good.
On Mondays, there's always going to be a piece of that's tied to probably one of two. It's going to involve some political things. We're going to be talking about crazy laws that are being done. We're going to be talking about kind of corrupt government things, how it impacts us. But then that's like for the first half. The second half, I want to be able to share and educate people. So like last night, I talked a little bit about critical race theory and what people think it is and what it truly is, and I gave them an example.
Okay.
And so last night, I took the time to educate people a little bit about Indian boarding schools.
Okay.
And the history of those in this country, the fact that they were government funded, the fact that they were ran by Christians,
okay.
And the connection. So when people hear, people say, Christianity, not all Christians, but Christianity has been used to uphold white supremacy in this country.
Correct.
I had a conversation with people about that. And I said, you got to understand, think about how this government is run, right?
That's right.
You can't go to college right now for free, but the government paid for schools to annihilate, to assimilate Native Americans, Indians into white culture.
Come on.
So, anyway, because I can go on and on about that.
I understand.
But it's about those social justice and human issues that really, really matter. So those are a lot of the things that I talk about. The other piece of it that I'm kind of excited about is I like to talk about faith and the commonality behind religions, the stereotypes that we have, and how if you unpack and get rid of some of the labels and the terminology, most of us believe the same things.
That's right. That's right.
About how we treat each other and how we should be. And I want to be able to explore that with people and give people permission to love and express your faith, whatever that might be, in the way that works for you without fear and condemnation.
That's good. So how can people follow and connect with the awesome Danny Cook?
So on Facebook and YouTube, it is The Danny Cook, right? The podcast is The Rantings of Danny. You can subscribe on whatever podcast platform you listen on. And so Mondays and Thursdays, Facebook and YouTube lives, Wednesdays, new podcast episodes. I want to say this about the people, when we think about coping through last year, understand that the way that we cope, whether it is through going to the gym 20 times, a month, whether it's overeating, whatever it is, first and foremost, it's giving yourself some grace. To understand that whatever you're choosing it because you think it protects you, even if it harms you. That's right. You think it's protecting you. And so the key to being able to stop those behaviors is feeling safe.
That's good. That's good, Danny. That's good. Yeah, I remember that from Periscope, the Rantings of Danny. And you did a whole lot. You worked out, you did poetry, you showed your art, and I'm glad that you're getting back to sharing you with us. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for accepting the invitation. Okay, so go ahead and mark a day in August. You're going to come back for part 3.
I'm good. Let's do it. I am so good. Happy to come back. I appreciate you having me. These are great conversations. And I think that people benefit from hearing from coaches and not coaches that are just interested in marketing and clients or whatever.
Thank you.
But coaches who are interested in really helping people find their way, discover what works for them, and celebrate their growth.
That is good. That is so good. And what do your grandbabies call you? I said Nana.
They call me Tutu.
Tutu.
They call me Tutu. T-U-T-U.
That is so awesome. I remember, Danny, when you shared when the first one was born. Who's the oldest?
Dominic.
Yeah, I remember Dominic. You were so excited, and just really happy for you. Well, listen, keep doing what you do, and I'm due to be on your podcast, so just connect with me. Connect with me.
We will get it scheduled.
Okay, sounds good. Well, listen, everybody, that was Miss Danny Cook. She's awesome, and she's got to come back for part 3. But y'all hold tight. We got a few more minutes left for the show, and y'all hold tight. We got to run to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
Hey, now, if you'd like to donate today to the Dr. Walter Sims Show, please donate at Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Yes, that's Cash App, $WALTERH. SIMS. That's Cash App, $Walter H. Sims.
Hey guys, if you're sitting there on my YouTube channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. We're right at 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel. We are up. We were at 450 a little while ago. We're on our way to 1,000. Because once I get to 1,000, I'm going to automatically go live on my website, which is just another positive. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you'll know when I go live. And this has been a great show today, guys. Let's see what I want to talk about. Let's look at our power word for today. I showed an introductory video from a young lady that I follow on TikTok, and basically she let us know that 93,000 people overdosed on drugs last year. And as Danny and I were talking, however way you choose to cope, positively or negatively, That's something that you're doing to avoid whatever it is you need to address. And the definition of cope is deal effectively with something difficult. And my challenge for you today is cope. Deal with it. Because one thing I know about whatever your it is, it's not going anywhere. And until you deal with it, it's not going anywhere. And let me say this about whatever you're dealing with. Deal with it while it's small. Y'all jot this down. And I've learned in 55 years, the sooner you deal with something, the better off you will be. I just got an email from the Small Business Association. I got a loan last year. One of the little caveats in the documentation, you basically got to send an email and proof of business insurance just to make sure you're the right person for that LLC, that business, to get the loan. Because believe it or not, there are people that falsify documents. There are people that lie. And a lot of that went on last year. But I got an email and I addressed it because you do not want to get out of grace. Oh, you don't hear me. And so my challenge for you today is there's something you need to deal with. And you need to deal with it sooner than later. Because small problems are much easier to deal with than big problems. I think another colloquialism says an ounce of cure is better than a pound of treatment. Y'all jot that down. Jot that down. Somebody need to hear that today. So my question, my follow-up question for you would be, how are you coping with that thing that you need to deal with? How are you coping with it? And when you don't cope with it right, things become addictions. And like Danny said, we all are addicted to something so that we don't have to deal with something else. You feel what I'm saying? And so my coach, I want you to remember this. Remember, this too shall pass. Last year, while we were going through the heat of the pandemic, we were just tripping that, will this ever be over? I remember last March, people hoarded toilet paper. People were hoarding bottled water. I went to $10 Generals in a 65-mile radius, and all of them were out of toilet paper. And thankfully, I had stored up a little bit for whatever reason, I don't even know. But guess where we are right now? And I know in some areas, the COVID numbers are still surging, if you will. There's a Delta variant out now. But let me share this with you. Whatever we deal with on this side of heaven is temporary. Remember, this too shall pass. Everything on this side of heaven is temporary. I was only 54 for a year. I was only 53 for a year. I'll only be 55 for a year. I'll be 56 next year. Whoo, have mercy, Lord. I'm a member of AARP now. I could have joined a long time ago, but I'm a member of AARP now. Many discounts because I'm a senior citizen, if you will. But we forget sometimes while we're going through, will this ever be over? I was talking to one guy getting coffee a couple of Sundays ago, and he said, Dr. Sam, when we were little, it looked like Christmas and our birthday would never come. It looked like school would never be over. But time seems so much slower then. Well, it's relative because it seems time is faster, not because we're older and we're closer to the end than we were to the beginning. You feel what I'm saying? When our time started, we were closer to time starting then than we are now. We're closer to our end now. So it seems like, just from a perspective, that time is fast. It's still the same 24 hours in a day. Amen. But I want you to remember that this too shall pass. Put that in your notebook. Everything on this side of heaven is temporary. And that's one of the most used phrases in the Bible. And it came to pass. Amen. I know what you're going through seems like an eternity, but trust me. Come on, Miss Vanessa. Come on, Teresa. Trust me. This too shall pass. Oh, I know. It's so much going on right now. Floods, wildfire, tornadoes. We're in hurricane season right now where I am. Okay? But everything, Mama used to say this all the time, everything is gonna be all right. I got some love talk for y'all. Let me hit this button real quick.
You know me? Huh? You know me? Yes. You know me? Yes. You know me?
What's love got to do with it? A whole lot. Remember last week I said, love is hard, especially when you settle for the wrong person. Danny spoke of she's divorced. I'm divorced. My Hebrew teacher she's been divorced. Love is tough, but when it comes to this, the doing is easier when the one you are doing it for is the one you love. Why is parenting, and a lot of people struggle when they are asked a question like, do you want to get married? Do you want children? But Danny, you see how she lit up when she talked about her grandbabies? They call her Tutu. My mother lights up when it comes to the grandchildren. It's quite a few of us. One of my colleagues, his wife, First Lady Collins, was at church Sunday. They have 17 grandchildren. Okay? So why is parenting not a chore for a lot of us? It's because we love our children. We love our grandchildren. When you love your significant other, baby, fix me a glass of Kool-Aid. Baby, run to the store for me. Miss Vanessa, big man, I need some more supplies for the kitchen. Don't you want that baked macaroni and cheese tonight? I need some egg noodles. He gonna run to the store. And she bake, and the reason Miss Vanessa food tastes so good because Danny is a great cook. The reason Miss Vanessa food tastes so good because she put it with love. I have personally witnessed Vanessa Gladness home cooking. Hello, somebody. So when it comes to love, it's easy for the one. If you love that person, hold on, somebody needs to hear it. Hey, Tamika.
You know me? Huh? You know me? Yes. You know me? Yes. You know me? Yes.
Somebody needs to hear this today. What's up, TikTok fam? When it comes to relationships, I said last week that love is hard, especially when it's a person you settle for. But the other side of that is the doing is easier when the one you're doing it for is the one you love. Did you see how Danny Tutu lit up when we started talking about her grandbabies? My mother lights up when it comes to the grandchildren. First Lady Collins was at church Sunday. She's got 17 grandchildren and showed us a picture of the latest edition. Parents that love children, taking care of their children is not a chore because they love their children. If you love your significant other and it's the one that God has set aside for you, your soulmate, the doing is not hard. Baby, go to the store for me. Baby, cook for me tonight. Baby, do this for me. Baby, pick this up for me. The doing is not hard when you love the person you're doing it for. So that begs the question. And we mix up these two things a lot of times. We mix up lust and love. The two are totally different. This is one of my quotes. Lust fades, but love lasts for a lifetime. Come on, somebody. And when you're young, your hormones are raging, and if somebody looks good and smells good and walks good and talk good, oh, you infatuated. That lust kicks in, and when you wake up and look at them, you say, why in the world am I here? It's not love, it's lust. And lust is a good ingredient for a loving relationship. You ought to lust after the one you will. But if that's all you got, oh, come on, somebody. If that's all you got, lust fades. But love lasts for a lifetime. Remember, the doing is easier when the one you're doing it for is the one you love. Oh, can I get a witness? Can I get a witness? Well, listen, we got to run to a quick commercial. We got to get out of here. Thank y'all for being here today. We thank Danny Cook for stopping by for part 2. Was that not a great conversation? And again, my challenge for you today is deal with what you got to deal with sooner so that it doesn't become a bigger problem. All right, I got to run to a couple of quick commercials, and we'll be right back.
Hey now, if you'd like to donate today to the Dr. Walter Sims Show, please donate at Cash App, $Walter H. Sims. Yes, that's Cash App, $WALTERHSIMS. That's Cash App, $Walter H. Sims.
Hey Liz, how has it been to have me as your life coach?
It's been a life-changing experience, honestly, Dr. Sims. Since I first met you on Periscope or watched you, you always brought a smile to my life and helped me through the darkest times and helped me learn the methods that would improve my life. I've had a lot of issues over the years with, mental health issues, depression, anxiety, relationship issues, things like that. And I've worked with so many different people, psychologists, psychiatrists, and there's nothing that's been more impactful and made a difference in my life than your coaching has.
Oh, thank you. Do you suggest that people that need a life coach reach out to me?
Yes. Like I said, I hit so many dead ends working with psychologists and even like different, cognitive therapy, different types of techniques. And I have not seen any results from all of that work in over so many years until I finally started working with you, and it's changed my life.
Amen. Thank you. Hey Liz, what would you say the biggest thing that you have learned working with a life coach?
The biggest thing is to be honest. You have to trust your life coach 100%. And that means being honest with him or them and yourself. And you have to do the homework. No one's going to change it for you. They're there to guide you. They're your coach. They will show you the way. It's up to you to make the change and be honest and trust yourself, trust your coach, and trust the process.
Did I ever tell you what to do?
No. You helped me come to the realization on my own and guided me in a way that made me feel comfortable with the decision and knowing what I have to do inside myself.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Well, remember, everybody, this too shall pass. You're going through something today. Everything is going to be all right? Just hang in there. I know life gets hard. Life is challenging. There's so much going on right now. We can talk for a long time about what's going on today. But what are you doing to help somebody else? What are you doing to make a difference? Are you living on purpose? And these are some things you just got to meditate on and chew on. And just remember, this too shall pass. And like I always say, if you stay high on life, life is going to stay high on you.